Scorpio doesn't just win, they outthink. They don't have to speak the loudest, show the most, or fight the hardest. Because long before others realize what's happening, Scorpio has already analyzed, adapted, and executed their next move. This is the Zodiac's most mysterious strategist, the one who plays the long game and plays it well. People often underestimate Scorpio because they're quiet, reserved, or emotionally intense. But that's the trap. That's exactly what Scorpio wants you to think. Because by the time you realize you're in a game, they've already won it without ever letting you know it started. In this video, we'll reveal 15 psychological, emotional, and energetic truths that prove Scorpio can outsmart anyone. Not through manipulation, but through instinct, awareness, and mastery of their own power. So before we begin, drop your zodiac sign and birthday in the comments. I want to know which silent masterminds are here. Now get ready to step inside the mind of the most psychologically powerful sign of the zodiac. Let's begin with Truth 15. Truth 15. They feel what others miss. Scorpio does not rely on logic alone. They use something deeper, sharper, and more accurate, their intuition. While most people listen to what others say, Scorpio listens to what is not being said. They feel energy shifts, notice subtle hesitations, and detect emotional undercurrents that fly under everyone else's radar. This intuitive sensitivity gives them a strategic edge. They often sense danger, betrayal, or hidden motives before the situation even unfolds. It is not magic. It is emotional intelligence refined to an art form. Scorpio feels everything, but they do not show it. And that is part of how they outsmart others by collecting information while appearing unreadable themselves. Their ability to feel beyond the surface makes them impossible to deceive. You can lie with words, but you cannot fake energy. Scorpio reads both. That quiet awareness becomes their armor and their sword, silent but devastatingly effective. If you think you are playing them, chances are they have already sensed a game, calculated your next 3 moves, and decided whether to expose you or walk away without a word. Scorpio's intelligence begins where others stop paying attention, in the silence, the stillness, and the unseen. Truth 14. They speak less. Observe more. Scorpio does not waste words. While others talk to fill silence, Scorpio uses silence as a tool. Every moment they spend quietly observing is a moment they are collecting information, reading the room, and mapping out the dynamics around them. This makes them incredibly hard to outsmart because they never show their full hand. They do not react the way people expect. Instead, they listen, they watch, they wait. And when they finally speak, every word lands with purpose. People who underestimate Scorpio's quietness often make the mistake of revealing too much. In their need to dominate the conversation or impress, they give Scorpio everything they need to know, all while Scorpio keeps their own truths hidden. Speaking less is not about shyness, it is strategy, it is control. Scorpio knows that in silence, power grows. Truth 13. They know when to let you think you have won. Scorpio understands the ego better than most signs. They know that sometimes the smartest way to stay in control is to let someone else believe they are winning. If giving you a false sense of security keeps the peace while Scorpio plans their next step, they will do it without hesitation. This is not manipulation. It is restraint. It is letting the situation play out, letting the other person speak first, show their hand, expose their weakness. Scorpio plays the long game. They know when to hold back, when to delay, and when to act. You may think you have outsmarted them, But Scorpio often already decided the outcome long before you knew you were in a contest. Letting you win in the short term means nothing to them if they are watching the long arc of strategy unfold in their favor. Truth 12. Their memory is a weapon. Scorpio does not forget. Every detail, every lie, every broken promise. It is all stored. Not out of bitterness, but out of strategy. Their memory is not passive. It is organized, archived, weaponized if necessary. This is why trying to gaslight or manipulate a Scorpio is nearly impossible. They remember what was said, how it was said, and how it made them feel. They remember the look in your eye when you lied and the tone of your voice when you changed your story. And when the moment comes, if it comes, they will bring it all back with surgical precision. Their recall is not loud, it is quiet, cold, devastating. You might have forgotten what you did. Scorpio never did, and that memory is one of the sharpest tools in their arsenal. Truth 11. They understand your motives before you do. Scorpio is a psychological reader. They can look at your actions and trace them back to your fears, your wounds, your desires. They see patterns where others only see surface behavior, and they are rarely wrong. This gives them an almost unfair advantage in relationships, negotiations, and emotional dynamics. While you are reacting from impulse, Scorpio is already analyzing your root motivation. They know when you are acting from insecurity, when you are covering pain, or when you are trying to test them. And because they understand the why, they are never truly surprised by the what. You may think you are unpredictable. Scorpio sees right through that. Outsmarting people is easy when you already know what is driving them. Even when they do. But to truth 10, they protect their power by staying mysterious. Scorpio does not overshare. They do not need to prove themselves. Their mystery is not a flaw, it is a fortress. By keeping their emotions, thoughts, and plans private, they maintain control over their energy. You cannot use what you do not know. You cannot prepare for what you cannot see. People often pressure Scorpio to open up, to explain, to reveal. But Scorpio knows that mystery is magnetic, and it is protective. When people cannot predict you, they cannot control you. This is why Scorpio can sit in silence while the world around them demands noise. Their stillness is unsettling. Their privacy is intimidating. And that is exactly how they like it. They are not hiding because they are afraid. They are hiding because they already understand the value of being unreadable. Truth 9. They turn pain into strategy. Scorpio does not crumble from betrayal. They convert it. Every wound becomes insight. Every heartbreak becomes instruction. Every loss becomes leverage. Where others fall apart, Scorpio becomes even more dangerous. They do not just survive the pain, they study it. They extract lessons from it, rebuild with it, and file it away for future use. You can't defeat someone who turns damage into direction. That's why Scorpio seems to move smarter after being hurt. They do. Because every mistake, every disappointment becomes data. Pain teaches Scorpio how the world works, how people reveal themselves, and how to never make the same mistake twice. And once they've learned from it, they will never fall for the same move again. They don't just move on, they move up. Truth 8. They pick their battles with precision. Scorpio is not reactive. They do not fight every fight or speak on every slight. They are selective. They know when a situation deserves their energy, and more importantly, when it does not. This makes them powerful in ways others don't expect. While people waste time engaging with noise, Scorpio waits. They calculate. They observe outcomes before they commit to action. When they do strike, it is never impulsive. It is timed, targeted, and almost always effective. You cannot outmaneuver someone who only plays when winning matters. Scorpio's discipline makes them immune to bait. That kind of control is power. Truth 7. They walk away to win, Scorpios. Strength is not in how long they stay. It is in knowing when to leave. If a situation becomes toxic, if someone disrespects their intelligence, if the energy becomes draining, they disappear. And when they do, it is final. No emotional chaos, no dramatic goodbye, just silence, distance, closure that comes from within. This is not avoidance. It is strategy. Scorpio knows that walking away is not losing. It is choosing peace over proving a point. It is choosing dignity over chaos. You cannot control someone who is not afraid to walk alone. Scorpio does not chase validation. They chase alignment. Truth 6. They make you reveal yourself. Scorpio has a unique ability to make people talk, not because they ask, but because they hold space. They listen without judgment. They stay quiet long enough for others to fill the silence, and in that space, people reveal more than they planned to. They confess, they slip, they expose. Scorpio doesn't manipulate this. They simply watch, absorb, file away what they need to know. It's not mind games. It's presence. You can't hide from someone who creates an atmosphere of raw honesty. With Scorpio, masks fall, often without a single word being spoken. Truth 5. They are 10 steps ahead in conflict. Scorpio does not walk into a conflict unprepared. Long before anyone else feels tension, Scorpio has already picked up on the shift. They have already played out the arguments, the reactions, the emotional aftermath, all in their mind. This is what makes them terrifying in confrontation. They do not explode. They do not stumble. They strike where it hurts, when it counts, and with surgical precision. You may think the conflict is unfolding in real time, but Scorpio already rehearsed this moment. Their advantage is not in aggression, it is in anticipation. By the time you raise your voice, Scorpio has already decided whether this conversation is worth continuing or whether you'll never hear from them again. You can't win a game they finished playing before you started. Truth 4. They attract information without asking. People tell Scorpio things they would never tell anyone else, and they do not know why. There is something about Scorpio's energy that draws out the truth, a quiet presence, a deep gaze, a sense that you are being fully seen. This is not manipulation. It is magnetism. People feel safe confessing even when they should not. They overshare. They reveal secrets. They speak before they think. Scorpio listens and stores every word, not to use against people, but to understand them, to protect themselves, to stay 5 steps ahead. That is the power of Scorpio's presence. You give them everything, and they still keep theirs. Truth 3. They study patterns, not just people. Scorpio does not only study individuals. They study behavior, cycles, repetition. They look at the bigger picture, connect dots most people miss, and predict outcomes with unsettling accuracy. They see how emotion, ego, fear, and power play out over time. And they remember how people behave, not just once, but over months or years. That macro awareness makes them immune to the same tricks. They may give someone a second chance, but they will never give them a third. Scorpio respects patterns more than promises. That is why they rarely fall for the same energy twice. Once they see the pattern, they move accordingly, and they never forget what it means. Truth 2. They are immune to manipulation. You cannot gaslight someone who already knows what is true. You cannot guilt Scorpio into submission. You cannot confuse them with charm, tears, or power games. They see right through it. Manipulation does not work on them, not because they are cold, but because they are clear. Their emotional intelligence, combined with their memory and intuition, builds a shield most people cannot penetrate. Scorpio may let the game play out, but deep down, they are never fooled. What scares manipulators most is that Scorpio will not always call it out. Sometimes they just disappear, no warning, no explanation, just a door that closes forever. Truth 1. They know when to burn it all and rebuild. The most dangerous and brilliant thing about Scorpio is their relationship with destruction and rebirth. They do not fear endings. In fact, they understand that sometimes the smartest move is to let it all burn, the relationship, the job, the identity, and start again from the ashes. This is not impulsive. It is instinct. Scorpio knows when something is too toxic to salvage. They do not cling to illusions. They do not beg for revival. They transform, and that transformation is what makes them impossible to outsmart. Just when you think you have figured them out, they become someone else. You are still playing yesterday's game. Scorpio already evolved, and there you have it. 15 truths that prove Scorpio can outsmart anyone. Not because they manipulate, not because they overpower, but because they understand, they observe, they wait, and when they move, it is always with purpose. Scorpio's intelligence is layered, emotional, energetic, psychological. They do not need to be loud to be effective. They do not need attention to hold power. Their strength lies in restraint, in timing, in knowing more than they ever reveal. People may try to play games with Scorpio, but it never ends well. Because Scorpio is never truly playing. They are studying. And when they are finished studying, they move in ways others never see coming. So if you are a Scorpio, take this as confirmation. Your silence is your strategy. Your pain is your power. Your mystery is your weapon, and no one can match your depth. Comment your zodiac sign and birthday below. I want to know who is watching. Like this video if these truths hit home. Share it with someone who needs to understand how powerful Scorpio really is, and subscribe for more weekly breakdowns of zodiac psychology, power and energy truths, because Scorpio does not outshout the world. They outthink it.